Welcome to Beyond the Sessions. My name is Nancy Rosales and I'm the SI Assistant Coordinator. So this is our very first episode coming to you from video and audio. But we have our first guest, Fernando. Fernando, go ahead and tell us a little about yourself.
I'm a senior here at Fresno State. I've been with the program for 6 semesters now. The course I support is CSCI 41, which is Intro to Data Structures and Algorithms. And I guess very same computer science major.
No, but you just did that, so it's okay. So you're a computer science major supporting the computer science course.
Yep.
6 semesters, been here 3 years with SI, so clearly you love it.
A little bit.
Fernando, in terms of I guess kind of starting from before even SI, it's like what brought you to Fresno State? Is Fresno State local for you, or was it your first choice?
It wasn't my first choice. I guess my first choice was San Diego State.
Okay.
I just didn't get into there, but it's all good.
So we were the backup choice.
Yeah, Fresno was a backup choice.
But you know what they say though is that you end up where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you believe that, or?
A little bit, kind of let fate decide.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go to San Diego State just because my dad wanted me to go there.
Okay.
He kind of liked the school.
Okay.
But I'm from San Diego, so it was local too. So I got to stay home, but I kind of wanted to go somewhere else from home.
Okay.
So trying to go somewhere that's not too far, but also close enough so that I could go back home whenever I want.
Yeah. And are you the first in your family to?
No, my sister is.
Okay.
Yeah, she goes to UCSD, so.
Oh, okay, so she got to stay local.
Yeah, she got to stay local.
All right. So, you came to Fresno State. Were you always a CSCI major coming in?
Yeah, I came in with CSCI major.
So you stuck with that. All right. So you get the emails to apply to SI. What made you kind of, I guess, take that leap? And
I don't know, because I was just kind of looking at it, and I was like, I got to be in the class. So I was like, I could apply for it.
Okay.
I didn't really think I was going to get the job just because I didn't really, I went to SI before in a couple of sessions, when I took 40, CSCI 40. And then when I started going, I was like, okay, it's kind of you got to kind of know it.
Yeah.
And I passed the class, and I was like, I feel like I'm comfortable with it. Mm-hmm. So I applied for it. Got an interview with my coup. I thought I did pretty bad. I was just stuttering all the time.
Is it the first time that you had a job? How do you work prior?
That required an actual interview like that, yeah. Because I would work in high school fast food.
Okay.
But they just hire you on the spot sometimes.
You walk in, walk out with the job.
Yeah, exactly.
You can work right now.
But that was my first actual interview, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, I was kind of nervous.
Yeah, that's normal. I think we see that a lot even right now as we're doing interviews for next semesters. You can kind of see past the nerves, or people will tell you right there in the interview, this is our first time, how did I do? So SI's a very unique position. It obviously requires a lot. Was it what you expected? I know you went to SI, but it's one thing to attend.
Yeah, it's not really. So I kind of, now looking at the students that I have, I kind of felt the same way as I went to SI to kind of expect to be,
taught.
Taught. I expected to be taught because I didn't really I didn't know what supplemental instruction or SI standard for. So I just kind of went to the sessions and were like, oh, I thought they were just going to teach me stuff. But then I started actually having to do it by myself. Okay. And I was like, okay, I kind of stopped going because of that. I'm kind of the OCS right now. But yeah, that's kind of not really what I expected, with the whole planning forms, things like that.
Yeah.
But, 6 semesters, so I kind of like it now. So.
Yeah, and now that you know kind of how SI works, it's very interesting because you're not the only SI leader that I've heard share that. I went to SI, but they didn't give me an answer, so I kind of didn't go back. So that's definitely, it's interesting being on this side of your role now, and like you said, my students, right? So it's how do we get the buy-in, if you will, or how do we get students to see that yes, you're going to put in work. We're not here to teach you, but it's more valuable to learn the process of how to do it on your own, right?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of understood it more when I was in SI. My first semester as an SI leader, I also still went to SI for one of my other courses. And then just knowing how SI works, I kind of understood how the sessions went. Yeah. What I'm supposed to do and things like that. So it was a little bit easier for me as SI leader. But for someone to not just come in not knowing anything, I feel like it is kind of you expect something, but you're not really getting it.
Yeah, so again, 6 semesters in SI, supporting computer science. What's kept you, interested in continuing with SI?
I think it's just like kind of the push that everybody gives. I think every semester is like, even though I've been, I think 5 semesters now with the same course, each semester has been like really different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like going to a new job every day because you're not really expecting like what like my mentor is going to tell me, what the students are going to do. So it changes. It's something that really changes every day. So it's not like just come in and do the same thing. Look at my planning from last semester, do it the same way. But it's always changing.
Kind of redundant in that. But, okay. So, you know, always stuck with CSCI. What made you interested in it in the first place? Why choose that career path?
I mean, I would be lying if I wouldn't say it was for the money.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of more so like I had to choose a major that was going to give me like a good outcome. Because like I'm a really big music person. Like if I would have re-chose it and like made my own decision, it would have been like something music-wise. Okay. But like knowing that I have to kind of like my parents, you know, immigrant parents, you know, the whole story like that, I kind of have to provide for them like in the future. So it's like some major that's gonna help me. Not, I want to say the easiest way because I mean computer science is still hard. Yeah. It's still hard to get a job, but it's kind of a path that's a little bit more better than other options. Yeah, and I mean setting yourself up to where it's like you want to do something, but at the same time, you know, coming from an immigrant family, you know, it's like having opportunities to kind of, you know, improve your like status and you know that whether that be financially, opportunities like getting an education. So that's definitely, you know, I'm glad it's something that you and your sister also. You know, yeah, definitely. I mean, I still kind of like computers, like the whole like technology side to it. That's something I've always been into. I think all the computer science majors always want to make a video game when they come in. That's something that I want to do. But now looking back, kind of like changed what I wanted to do. But it's always like starting to thinking back, like okay, my parents didn't really have an option, for education, so I still kind of had a little bit of freedom to choose what I wanted, but I still haven't kept in mind that like, I have to do something that's going to benefit me.
Yeah, what's going to come after graduation for sure. So, in terms of, I know you recently had interned with was it AC Electric, right? Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience doing that, and also like, maybe if there's any skills that you've gained as an SI leader that you saw maybe translate into that? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing from there is we had a lot of meet and greets, and I get to know like, but like I guess the more, I won't say more important roles, but like the bigger roles they have there. So like the CEOs, the vice president, I'm pretty sure we got to meet. But just getting to know like their story, and the biggest thing that I kind of took from there is like the networking side of things. So like knowing how to communicate with everybody, knowing to share your ideas and things like that. I think the biggest thing that we kind of took from that is one of them told us something about imposter syndrome, where she's in a position where like everybody depends on her, but sometimes she doesn't feel like she's capable of it because of certain things. And I feel kind of in a similar way when I was interning there, because that was my first like, I guess like actual
like big boy job.
Yeah, big boy job. Like not saying like a sex job, but you know, like actually having to like work in an office, things like that. And I felt kind of out of place just because I mean I'm not really used to anything like that. I'm used to like working fast food.
I don't know. I saw a different side of you.
Yeah, I guess it took 10 weeks. It was definitely a little bit hard just to kind of fit in. I felt like, but that company was amazing. They have an amazing culture. The manager, we kind of worked one-on-one a lot of times, and she kind of was open to whatever I wanted to do. Whatever I wanted to do, she was there. She helped push me. All of them, because it was a small team, so they were all kind of, it was like a little family, like an IT family. And they all helped me out like with that presentation. Trust me, that presentation was not.
I mean, zooming in, right? Like seeing it on Zoom, you know, you definitely see the support of like the audience behind you and people, you know. I noticed that people were wearing like matching shirts and.
So like the story about that is that one of the IT people there, his name is Matt. For a long time, he's been trying to push Fridays to be Hawaiian Shirt Day, but like for some reason, they completely abandoned it and like had an event where they had all tie-dye shirts. Oh, okay. So they kind of made it tie-dye Day Friday. So he kept pushing it, and then he told me to do it one day. So I came up with I pulled up with a Hawaiian shirt in his office, then somebody else started doing it. All the other interns started doing it. So they got all of us matching Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, yeah, I think being able to also have an environment that's supportive. You know, it's like the work is the work, but also like the culture plays a big factor, right? Like how you feel going into the space, how comfortable you feel working with, like you said, one-on-one with like your direct supervisor, right? It's, you know, I think that changes a lot of how you feel going into a place, and also like your learning experience coming out of that internship. So.
Yeah, it feels kind of the same way here in SI. We kind of work with the mentors one-on-one. It's kind of like an exact like replication over there. I guess the biggest thing that I would say that kind of is similar is the growth mindset. Just because they have a really they have a big learning environment. Anytime like any employee wants to learn, they have a program to help them learn. Just continuous learning. I think that's what the company shares with us.
Yeah, awesome. So what motivates you, Fernando? What keeps you going?
Keeps me going? I mean, it's just my family. I would say we're kind of like a family-oriented person. There's only, like my direct family, there's only 4 of us. So my parents.
So just one sister?
Yeah, just one sister, older sister. I mean, I would say that's just the reason I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because every day is just trying to improve for them. I mean, even looking back like at the internship, not to like exaggerate or anything, but like money-wise, like hourly, I made more than my parents made like throughout their whole careers. And they've been working for like 20 years now, or here in the US for 20 years now. So even looking back at that, that kind of pushes me to like knowing that like that was an internship role. Like imagine how much I can make like in an actual position. So that kind of motivates me every day. I know I kind of joke around about money a lot, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what pushes me.
I mean, it's definitely not something to joke about, right? I think it's kind of like there's a lot of people who have big dreams, but you know, being a college student, you know, it's like you hear it all the time too. It's like not necessarily are there a ton of opportunities to make a lot of money as you're a college student, and so I think to kind of starting to see that fruits of the labor, and like absolutely, right? Like my parents are also immigrants, so you know, have worked in the fields, you know, for decades, and that's all that they, you know, did. They have higher education opportunities, so I think seeing I'm sure like also their pride in like, you know, both you and your sister going to school, and like that's what they want for you guys. I'm sure, you know, it's like you want to be able to set up your family so that they're able to,
because my dad was able to graduate high school. Me or my sister, him and I all graduated from the same high school. And then he just wasn't able to go to college because, you know, me and my sister, he had to kind of balance it. Right? And then my mom, she only went to like, I want to say like 4th grade or 3rd grade back in Mexico. So my dad came here first. He's kind of like out of his family, he's kind of the most, I don't want to say like most educated, but like he went to school. Nobody else in the family went to school. He's kind of like, whenever people think about like, oh, someone who's educated is always my dad. So that's what also kind of pushed me, because I kind of have to, I mean, I'm named after him too, so I kind of have to represent him, you know, here and the family also. So always just looking back at that, my dad was able to, you know, go to college all the times. He's always like, oh, I want to go, but he just can't sometimes. He's always working. So just looking back at that, it's kind of like I kind of have to take the place for that.
And you know, even though like you and your sister going to college too, it's like, you know, it's beautiful to see that, like, you know, the highest level is no longer the high school education, right? Like they're, you know, getting a college degree and getting into careers and not just jobs, you know, having that difference of that. So that's awesome. With that, what's some of the best advice that you've ever received?
The biggest advice, my dad always tells me that in Spanish is la vida da muchas vueltas, or in English it turns like the life gives you many turns. Like you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like that's why I think the biggest thing out of anything, any position, anything, is just being humble. That's the biggest thing, because even like there's some people that get into a certain position, like I would say like not a power, but like a certain position, and just kind of think they're all that.
Like se creen mucho.
Se creen mucho, and it's like you were like sweeping floors a couple years ago. You were doing that. You know, it's not something to be embarrassed about.
Right. You're making a living.
Yeah, you're making a living. At the end of the day, it's whatever pays the bills, whatever does that for you. There's something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom's been a fast food worker for 20 years now, so it's something to be ashamed about. I'm proud to say that, you know, that she's been helping us out. I mean, that got me and my sister to college.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. So something to definitely be proud of. And like you said, not having the humility is a very, I think, really kind of makes you, and I think it's a beautiful trait. You know, seems easy, but like you said, you see people kind of climb up positions or even again financial status, and that kind of shifts maybe how they treat others or the inside of others. So what's something else that like maybe people wouldn't necessarily assume? We know SI leader Fernando. We know he's been here. We know he's shy. We had to force him to do this podcast. But you know, what's something that maybe might take us by surprise?
By surprise? Well, like I think this was maybe my sophomore year. Or the summer going into my sophomore year, or either the beginning of it. In high school, I played football. I was a little bit like overweight. So in the beginning of my sophomore year, I was 100 pounds. So like 100 pound weight loss journey. So I don't think people would be able to tell. I mean, I get some of it back.
So what position did you play?
I was on the offensive line.
Okay.
So you can imagine how big those people were. But yeah, I think that's something also I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of that, it's just like a lot of determination at the end of the day. So I think that kind of helps me in other positions too. Yeah. Just being determined to do something.
Right. Yeah, and having the discipline to do it, right? So, all right. So we've talked about, you know, what you enjoy in SI. We've talked about, you know, your family and career path as well. So what do you enjoy least about SI? Let's get to the juicy stuff.
The juicy stuff?
And don't worry, your position may or may not ride on this.
Next semester I'm going to be here because of this. The thing I dislike the most, I mean, it's kind of 50-50 because I like it too, but you guys push us a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's good that you guys push us, and sometimes like, dang, I come into work like, man, what back off a little bit. But like, at the end of the day, it's gonna be helpful. But sometimes I'm just like, damn, what are they gonna tell me today? Like, what am I gonna do today?
Yeah.
So things like that. But I mean, I like it. Again, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing, but it's also not the best thing because because you guys, you know, push me out of my comfort zone a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good thing at the end of the day. But
yeah, no, I know. And especially, I think getting to a level point. I mean, you're working closely with Stephanie as your mentor, so I'm sure that adds a different level of pressure to it.
A little bit.
Because you know, Stephanie's very big on, you know, just tough love. Like she's gonna tell you how it is. She's gonna set expectations for you, you know, and really wanting to see that growth, especially for someone who's been here 6 semesters. And I think that's kind of where, you know, speaking of the growth mindset that you talked about earlier as well, it's okay, someone who's been here 6 semesters, it can be very easy to be, I'm supporting the same course, how do I keep doing that? And like you said, like you yourself not wanting to kind of just fall into that redundancy of like, oh, this could be easy, but still pushing to like try new things, still learning from your role, and finding those opportunities. And sometimes, you know, some of the opportunities that will kind of also push is maybe outside of just your sessions, right? And stepping in and really being a leader among our team, right? Whether that be through collaboration. I know you're more of an introverted individual, so. But like I said, we went to your internship presentation. You're cracking jokes, and I know we were like, "Wait, who is this?"
Fake person.
Yeah. So I think that even I've seen that translate into this semester for you, and I think we've seen that growth. So yes, there's pressure, and you know, as long as it's not being unrealistic, it shouldn't be. But you know, part of like getting out of your comfort zone is that it is uncomfortable, and that part sucks as you're doing it. But then once you get past it, you're like, oh wow, like if I wasn't pushed, maybe I wouldn't have gotten to do you know some of this. So all right, Fernando. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up with some rapid fire questions, okay? So I'll shoot some questions your way, and you just let me know first thing that pops to mind, I guess.
All right.
So what's your favorite thing to eat on campus?
On campus, probably Panda Express.
Panda Express, okay. Favorite season of the year?
Christmas.
Okay, why?
Gift giving.
Dream vacation destination?
Dang. Well, I always wanted to go to the Clásico in Spain. So Barcelona and Madrid, so probably Spain. Yeah. Go to one of those games.
Oh, nice, yeah. Favorite movie genre?
Comedy.
Who's your favorite artist? If you're a big music guy.
Oh man.
You can list a couple. I don't want to make it difficult.
Rappers like A$AP Rocky, Tyler the Creator. Who else? Spanish. Whatever my dad used to listen to. So like, I'm like a good like old people music. Like because you know what it is.
Does it bring you back to like your childhood? Like hearing that? Okay.
That's why I like listening to it.
Yeah, I get that. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Oh, they actually asked me this like in the internship. And I put human Shazam.
I haven't watched Shazam. So.
No, Shazam the music app.
Oh my god, like recognized music?
Recognized music.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about the movie. Okay, my bad.
Shazam's already human.
I haven't watched the movie. Okay, you're talking about the app Shazam.
The app Shazam,
Alright, okay. Alright, what's your spirit animal?
I don't know.
No,
the duck.
The duck?
The duck.
Alright.
Because it changes all the time.
True. Yeah. And then if you have one, what's your stomach?
Just the cold brew.
Okay. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time, Fernando. I hope people are learning from you. And then, I appreciate you, kind of being the bold one and brave to take on the first episode. Yeah, I know. But yeah, thank you for your time.